Luckily, there's only a handful of subjects to get through tonight, isn't there?
Oh, mate, I know. I'm looking forward to this stuff. I've not done one in ages. It's been about 2
I
weeks.
was going to say, when was it?
Yeah, it was before I started my new job, so it's just been a bit full on. So it's got to, we are live on Facebook. How good is it to be back?
Welcome back.
You know what? I've not spoken. I've not obviously done one of these for a couple of weeks with a new job and stuff. So I've kind of. It's the close season for me is one where you really start to digest the season you've had, look forward to the season to come, but it doesn't feel like it's a proper middle bit before the new season starts. It's so quick. It's so rushed coming through. I mean, the Charity Shield was like 2 days ago, whatever it was. It's absolutely bonkers. It should be like 2 months' time. Do you know what I mean? So we've not really had much time to rest and digest. And this news about Messi is the pessimist in me is telling me he's a power play. He wants a different presidential candidate to come in, etc., etc., etc. And I don't want to get excited about Messi signing for City. The prospect of Messi signing for City, for me, is one of the most exciting signings, not just in City's football history, in football history. The best player in the world or has ever played football signing for City. I know you've got your own opinions about Ronaldo, but they're rubbish.
No.
The best player in the world. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how people think he's lost. He might have lost it a bit, etc., etc. He's the best player in the world and potentially, arguably, the best player that's ever been signing for City. My mind is just exploding. I'm going to have to book 2 days off work if we sign him. Honestly, I won't know what to do with myself. What do you think about it? I can't get my head around it. Messi.
Well,
links with City again. I know it's quite. It's been happening for the last 8 years, hasn't it? But there genuinely seems substance with it now. There's some behind the rumours, and I can't get my head around it.
Well, I'm probably going to get hounded for it tonight as well, but I did on the page a few days ago. I hope it doesn't happen. I still hope it doesn't happen. I'm almost dead certain it's not going to happen. And ever since I put that post, however, a lot more people have been commenting and saying they completely agree with my stance that they hope it doesn't happen.
When you think you hope it doesn't
ruin the ethos.
Yeah, tell me your thought process behind that. Get me on side with you.
Well, I think there's no matter of side, really. I think it's all down to personal opinion. I rate Messi. I want to get that out first. I do class him as one of the greatest. I always say, personal opinion again, Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest, just because he's built himself. Messi was naturally had the gift. But that aside, Messi is world class, one of the greatest ever. And yes, 4 or 5 years ago, him signing for City would have sent football into a massive meltdown, complete meltdown. This time round, though, and I would have, to get out of the way again, back then I would have loved it. I would have hands down said, don't matter if it's £1 billion getting in. Now, seeing the way City have become in the last 5 years under Guardiola and just after Pellegrini left, when we won the double and then we won the quadruple and everything like that, we're a club that doesn't have to rely on making marquee signings anymore. I'd say, personally, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne were probably that, but they weren't marquee signings. Since then, we've never really made a big signing. And I think we've flourished under that because we've allowed players that have been under the radar, such as Ederson. You could throw Bernardo Silva in there. He had one good season at Monaco, and then he's just suddenly set the world light. So he's a very good player. And City thrive off that. But bringing Messi in would completely change that dynamic because we're a club that's never bought in world-class players. We had the discussion a few months ago. But I keep throwing down the argument. I've done nothing since he signed but rate Ferran Torres. He's a right-sided winger, 20 years old, 21 years old. And he, personally for me, I think he will set Premier League alight. If he stays at City for a decade, we will recite him as one of the greatest ever to play for City. I thoroughly believe that. You're
making it sound like as if Messi was to come in, he's going to push Ferran out. We've got a huge squad, haven't we? Yeah. Everyone's going to get a chance.
But the thing with that I want to get this out of the way. I'm not blaming Messi. If Messi does come, I don't blame him for anything bad to come to the club. I think it's down to the ethos around bringing him in. Because if you think about how the media portrays us now, before we potentially sign Messi, we get hounded on a day-to-day basis just because we're City. You throw Messi into that lineup. If Pep Guardiola drops for any game, doesn't matter if it's Man United, doesn't matter if it's Bournemouth away in the cup or something like that, you drop Messi, the media will hound you. Even if you win 1-0, the media will hound you. Oh, if he played Messi, we would have won that 5 or 6-0, but we only won 1. You know that's the truth. I know you'll fight every argument about it, but you know, despite, even if it's 1-0 and we win and Messi's not in that team, everyone will throw, or if Messi was in the club, if Messi was in the team, that starting 11, if he was brought off on the bench, we'd win it by 5 or 6-0. I don't believe that's the case. I personally think, as much as a good player he is, I personally think he will flop in England. Not flop to the fact he's like the Joe of Man City. I just don't see him being the Barcelona Messi at City. But at the same time, going back to Ferran Torres, how do we know that Ferran Torres isn't going to do a better job than Messi in the Premier League? Because if you were any manager, or if you had the balls the size of Pep, you are still not going to drop Messi. You drop Messi, you get hounded for it.
If you
play Messi and play bad.
If you're good enough, you play. And if he's not good enough, he'll drop him. In my opinion, I kind of see your argument. I understand what your point is. I completely get it, the Torres thing, but you're making it sound it's either one or the other that's going to play. When we've got the opportunity to play 5 forward players in the teams that Pep plays in, there's room for everybody within everything. You know, there's 38 games in a season. We've got Champions League, got the FA Cup, we've got League Cup, etc., etc. There's plenty of games for everyone to play.
But that's my argument. You drop Messi for any of them games. Doesn't matter if it's the League Cup. Doesn't matter if it's a Community Shield next season. You know, a nothing game in terms of the lower aspects. No disrespect to the lower opposition. You drop Messi in for any of them games, and we draw or win, we're still going to get hounded. Doesn't matter who it is, because Messi wasn't playing.
I kind of lose it a bit where you go with that, because I don't care what people say about us. It's obviously, you know, you kind of writing the stories before they've even happened there. If Messi doesn't play a game, he's 33. Granted, he's 33. He's not going to be able to play every game because he's getting on a bit, and everyone else needs to play. Will he start every game? Yeah, probably. It's Messi. It's Messi. If he gets dropped and it goes else brought in, then it's Pep's choice. Pep's the manager. You kind of write in the stories before we've had the chance to do it. And I think if we've got an opportunity to get the greatest footballer in the game, we should do absolutely everything. All right, if it was Ronaldo, would you have the same input?
No, but because of the position-wise, Ronaldo's more renowned now as a striker. We need a world-class striker to back up Aguero. Messi's more of a right winger sitting back behind the leading striker like he has done at Barcelona. We don't need that position. We've got Ferran Torres, we've got Mahrez, we've got Foden potential, we've got Bernardo Silva potential on that right wing. All these players are still, in their own right, very good in the Premier League. We don't know what Messi's going to be like. We've got Kevin De Bruyne for that central role. We've got Foden for that central role. Again, Bernardo Silva for that central role. What we haven't got is a striker and a defender. Those are the two positions we need to work on the most. Messi's not an out-and-out striker. Yes, he may get 20 goals a season at Barcelona, but it's not what we need.
I'm struggling to get what you understand what you mean, because if we have the opportunity to sign Messi, you're worried about the bad press if we don't play him, etc. But imagine all the positives. Imagine the positives that's going to come with Messi signing for City. What he'll do for the mentality of the current players in that squad. If I was Ferran Torres, I'd be thinking, fucking hell, get a chance to play with Messi. Would you not? You would, though, wouldn't you? You would, wouldn't you? All the young players working alongside him. Look what David Silva's done for Phil Foden. Imagine what Messi's going to do for Phil Foden. Imagine what Messi's going to do for Torres. Imagine what he'll do for everybody. Sergio, Mahrez, De Bruyne. He will lift that team to new heights and Champions League wins. I'm not even talking about the commercial aspects of it. You know, people talk about City being plastic, etc., etc. We've got a massive City Manchester fan base, and within the last 10 years, that's been growing to a worldwide entity. We have to accept that because it's fantastic. Whenever I used to go to Spain as a kid, I used to see United tops everywhere. And you mentioned City, and they're like, who? And now everybody knows City. You watch the news, but something abroad, there's always somebody wearing a City top. It's bonkers. Bringing Messi will bring the commercialisation of City on a massively global scale. And there's so many benefits. If we can get them on a free, because obviously there's rumours now whether that 10th of June contract, etc. So we're gonna pay them a lot of cash. We're gonna be paying them an awful lot of money, but we'll recoup that in sponsorships. I cannot see the negatives in signing Messi. And I'll be honest, and you've not convinced me. I can't see the negatives with it. Like
that's my point. I don't think there is any convincing on either side. I think you either have for him or against him coming. I think it's just purely based on matter of opinion. Like I said, I started my segment off. He is one of the greatest. Completely agree with the commercial side. He will bring so much revenue in the club. Shirt sales will practically pay for a transfer fee, whatever that is. But going back to what you said, if I was Ferran Torres or Mahrez for that matter, or, Phil Foden's going to be the one replacing David Silva, you'd think of Bernardo Silva more of that right winger at the moment. So those three players, yes, we'll be looking, get to play with Messi. But back of their minds are also going to be thinking, hang on, I'm hardly going to get a game here in the Premier League.
Well, do you know what?
I want to be playing in the Premier League.
If that's their mentality, fuck off. Get rid of them. If they're thinking Messi is going to come in and knock my space off, work harder in training. Prove to Pep you should be playing over Messi or the other forward players. If a player turns around to Pep and says, "Listen, I can't believe you're signing Messi. Where am I going to be in now?" Pep will have them out the door straight away. They are not the mentality that we're trying to build here.
Does Pep have the balls to drop Messi though?
Why would he have to?
Even if Messi had a bad game?
If he had a bad game, he'll drop him. But why should he not? I don't understand your argument. Do you know what? It's Messi. If he has a bad game, everyone has a bad game. But he can't play every game, Dan. Yeah. Messi's 33 years old. He's not going to play every game next year. He must accept. Does he play every game for Barcelona? I can only assume he does. So we've got to be thinking. I don't know much about. I don't watch La Liga. I really, that. I don't watch La Liga. But if we get Messi within our club playing for us, there's absolutely zero negatives. And if he needs to be dropped, he can't play every game. He can't play every game. He needs to accept that. Kevin De Bruyne is the best player we've got at City. Does he play every game? Yeah, he's dropped a fair bit, actually, thinking about it. He doesn't play every game, does he? He doesn't play some of the games. But it's the same mentality. If he's fit, 100%, play him. You play a fit Messi. If Messi scores 10 own goals against one club, but he's 100% fit to play in the next week, you play in the next week. It's Messi. He's the greatest footballer going. I can't. I'm trying to understand your argument, and I've come in very open-minded to this.
Well,
there's no negatives. Again, there's no negatives beside Messi.
There is. Because I personally, as much as Guardiola is Guardiola, I don't think, even if Messi has a string of 10 bad games where he scores 10 own goals, he will not have the balls to drop Lionel Messi without being hounded by the media, by the press, by his own players. Because if I was Ferran Torres and Mahrez, I'd be knocking on the door saying, look, I've actually been impressing you in the training. I've been working my ass off. I've been scoring.
You're writing negative stories before it's even happened. You're questioning Pep massively here, saying he's not got the ball to drop him. How do we know he's not? When he managed him at Barcelona for the first time, did he drop him then? Did he need to drop it? I don't know. Honestly, you kind of writing negatives without anything actually being happening. But I do understand your point. Obviously, I do get your point. But it's.
Put it this way, I'm a stubborn bastard at the best of times, but I would love to be proven wrong, but I know deep down I'll be right.
So if Ronaldo came to City, obviously you're young love child Ronaldo, you'd have no problems with us signing Ronaldo, but you'd have a problem with us signing Messi. That doesn't make sense.
Position-wise. Me and David said the same thing.
Everywhere.
Ronaldo is an out-and-out striker.
Ronaldo
is an out-and-out striker. You put Ronaldo in that City side, we will score a billion a goal. I'm not saying we won't do that with Messi, but it's a position we don't need. Messi plays more out to the right. We've got the central midfield sorted. We've got the right-hand side of midfield sorted. It's striker and centre-back coming in. We're looking at multi-millions worth of pounds to bring Messi in a position we don't need to strengthen. Spend that money on a centre back and a striker. I'll be happy.
Okay, right. Let me give you. Let me do a Chris on you. What car do you drive, Dan?
A Ford Focus.
Ford Focus. Great, reliable car. Does a job. Gets you to work. Moves the kids around. Yeah. BMW BMW X1 comes available. Same price as what you're paying now. Brilliant colour. You love it. Your missus is fantastic. Would you stay with your Ford Focus or would you get the BMW?
Well, personal opinion, I'd stick with the Ford Focus. I hate BMWs.
You're lying. You're absolutely lying. Talking
hate BMWs.
Shit. You're absolutely
hate
talking
BMWs.
shit. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Hate BMWs. Hate them. You're saying Aston Martin DB5, then hands down, yeah. But
you won't get the kids in that. It's not
the kids. It's my play toy.
If Messi comes available, you don't say no. You don't say no.
Again, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't see it happening to a start, so I don't think these arguments are valid. I don't know. Like I said, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't see it at all.
Imagine if he does. Just imagine Messi signing for City. God,
if he does, all the best. I'll be behind him 100%.
And you know what? If he signs for City and we don't win the Champions League next year, there'll be hell to pay. There'll be absolute hell to pay. Because the way we got knocked out of the Champions League this year, do the City board think Messi's the secret McDonald's sauce that's going to get us the Premier League, the Champions League win? Yeah, probably. They probably think he's the key to it. But you see, you should never rely on that. Remember, I don't remember this, but my dad told me quite frequently when City bought Rodney Marsh. City had a championship winning team, brilliant team, etc., on course to win the league. Brought Rodney Marsh in for £1 million, I think, if I'm proved right or wrong, and the team flopped. And that's my worst case scenario with this. Everyone relies too much on Messi, but Pep's not the type of manager to let that lie. I just can't see any negatives for signing the best player in the world. Yes, I suppose the only negative is he's not 25.
No. But like I said, if he was, I would hands down. It don't matter if it's £1 billion. I'd have him. But when we're like the Champions League, well, this year in the Premier League, everything this year, the key areas we've lacked this year is not right wing, not a world class signing of Messi. It's a centre back and a decent backup striker to Aguero. That's the reason we flopped this season in terms of all aspects. Bar the League Cup, obviously. Get a centre-back in, a decent centre-back, someone like Ruben Diaz, someone with captain material, someone who can lead that back line, and then get a decent striker to back up Aguero when he's not in the team. Play Jesus out on the left where he's played so much better this season. That's your team sorted.
We need to think about bringing Messi. What I do, I'm talking to it. So your argument is no to Messi. And what was the reason behind it again, sorry?
Well, I'll host it, just the media outrage, the player outrage, just the ethos of the club. About bringing in world class players when we don't need to. We make world class players.
But if a world class player comes available, but if a world class player comes available, then it would be mental not to sign him
for hundreds of millions.
Right. Put it this way. City this season had a really, really disappointing season. We won the League Cup.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic with that. For me, that's brilliant. You can see the shirts behind me. I've supported City a long time. I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly. So to win one trophy is, for me, it's fantastic. Had a great day out, etc., etc. Yeah. But in City's opinion, Champions League was rubbish. Premier League, we got smashed.
Yeah.
Disappointed about the FA Cup. So, you got to look at it as a City fan, in a modern day City fan, thinking it's a bit of a disappointing season. We're starting off there, and we want to be here. If we need to make space up between Liverpool for next season, we need to bring in that marquee player that gets everyone rejuvenated with the passion and love. And come on, City, because it's a bit of a disappointing season. If Messi's that marquee signing that does that, it's worth his weight in gold. It's worth his weight in gold. I'm looking at your pal.
I see it as a centre back. You bringing a centre back to partner Laporte, the whole
team.
I
agree with you. I'm not saying Messi or nothing. I'm saying we need. We need reinforcements all over the shop, as far as I can see. If someone said to me, "Would you have Messi or you can have 2 world-class centre-backs. And what position do you think we need to strengthen? 2 strikers, a striker and 2 centre-backs. I'd go, actually,
Striker and a centre-back,
we need the striker and the centre-back more than we need Messi. Of course we do. But if Messi comes available alongside the striker and the centre-back, then that's great. Because nothing's happening with Koulibaly yet, is there? I've not really heard much about him ever since Messi's started going. Koulibaly.
No, we had a meeting. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago on Tuesday, but City cancelled it because we didn't think the price tag they were still wanting for didn't represent the battering that the Napoli got from Barcelona, basically.
I can understand that.
So, which is a bit unlike City because that's one game, you know. But at the same time, I don't kind of really want Koulibaly for that price tag either.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because from what I hear, they signed, sealed, and delivered with regards to Koulibaly. You know, they've got the figures all his side of the contract side up. We just need to agree a fee now, from what I've read and what I've been listening to. So is that the centre back we need after his performance against Barcelona? I don't know.
No, I think we need a leader, a proper leader. I'm not talking about someone who's vocal or some big beefy nut like Koulibaly. I'm on about somebody who's done it through the ranks, such as a Ruben Diaz, someone who knows how to pick up a team.
Messi?
See, again, no, because every time I see Barcelona play bad, he sulks.
I'd sulk if I was losing.
But if you were a captain, you'd be like, come on, pull your finger. Vinny was like that. Vinny, as soon as we lost, Vinny would pull his finger out and have a go at everybody.
At this level of football, every one of those players should be a captain. Everyone, you shouldn't need somebody like Vincent Kompany to motivate you. Every player that pulls on that blue shirt.
But when we haven't got a team with, when we've got a team with no captain at the ship or anything. I mean, you think about it, the same wing as Barcelona. You think the same as Guardiola. Who's his second in charge now? Nobody really knows his name. I can't remember his name. I can't remember him doing anything since he came in. Arteta was at Pep's throat every game, telling him, look, you're wrong here. That's what we're missing. We're missing somebody like that. And I think someone like Ruben Diaz or someone similar. I keep using Ruben Diaz as a figure because I love him at the club. I think he's the idol of what we need.
Yeah, I agree.
But we haven't got that in the club at all. Kevin De Bruyne, everyone's arguing he's going to be the captain, which quite rightly is the only player you can stand out for. Maybe Aymeric Laporte to a gist, but not as good as De Bruyne. But De Bruyne, I still don't see him as a captain. Yes, he's vocal, but he's not. You know, when De Bruyne has a bad game, the whole team has a bad game. He's not that. He's not that Vinny. You know what I mean? But nobody's Vinny. You're going to need a whole new generation, a whole new lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's a different argument that, though, isn't it? Losing Vinny's a massive blow for us, and to getting somebody similar to him. Van Dijk's the only player that I can think of that's anywhere near the stature and quality that Vincent Kompany gave us, and we just can't rely on another Vinny, can we? We need to get somebody else in. Laporte's going to be amazing. I'm just disappointed with Garcia wanting to go to Barca because him and Laporte were looking to be brilliant for me. Yeah.
Then go back to what you said about if any player feels like they don't want to play or anything like that, sorry, get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
What is the word you use?
Yeah, if anyone's going to try and upset the apple cart, get rid. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. I don't care who they are. And if it's one of them, and Messi doing that to Barcelona now, saying he wants to leave. So,
he's doing that at a club he's absolutely loved.
Yeah,
from a very young childhood. You know, I just don't see it happening.
What about a striker? What about a striker then? Is there anything? Have you seen much in the papers from a striker perspective?
Not an inkling. Which is worrying in its sense because, again, it's one as much as the centre back is. The centre back saga about Koulibaly has gone cold. It's only Koulibaly since we signed Ake. Ake is not the not the solution to the problem. Everybody knows that. I think Ake knows that. I think Pep knows that. Tixie and everyone knows that. But by Koulibaly, we heard nothing, and the Koulibaly saga stalled. Striker is the other main thing. We're looking at potentially Sergio Aguero's last season. Jesus, yes, he's had his best scoring season. He's played more on the left, even with Aguero out injured this season. When Aguero's not in the team, Jesus has primarily more stayed out to the left when he's attacking. He's not an out-and-out striker. As much as I bigged him up at the start of the season thinking he would be the replacement, I don't believe that in myself. Now, we haven't had an inkling of somebody as a striker to replace him. No one at all. Not a slight bit, which worries me at the same time. Unless we've got someone secretly in the background that we're hoping to bring in. The only striker that I can see in the background at City is Lucas Nemecha, who hasn't proven himself even in the lower leagues yet. And he's not good enough to refill Aguero's boots. But yeah, it's tricky. I don't understand where we're going with the whole team selection and transfer business, because it goes hot and then completely cold and stale.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? And you kind of get the feeling that if that's the case, that makes me think this Messi rumour's got some weight behind it, because City will be putting all their efforts into getting a decent package put together for him, which would make them be a bit busier than going away for other players. Because if we were to bring in Messi, granted, you know as well as I do, he's not going to be cheap. So the potential budget for a centre back.
We're talking about. They're talking about 450 million over a 5-year period, in which he stays at City for 3 years and then moves on to New York City for the final 2.
Right. Crikey. Bonkers, isn't it? Absolutely bonkers. How old is David Silva? How old's David Silva?
He's 34.
34. So I'm just thinking of
good luck, best of wishes to David Silva.
I've seen he's not very well.
He's got coronavirus, hasn't he?
COVID, it's rubbish. That. Yeah, hopefully he'll feel better.
Yeah.
He's asymptomatic though, isn't he? So he's not poorly, but he'll still have the flu side effects. Hopefully his little lad, his wife don't get it as well. That's obviously important. So by the sounds of it, we're never going to agree about Messi. You know, I want him, you don't, and both have reasons behind it. Part of me's thinking, are we diverting funds from the potential striker, from a potential centre-back, into getting Messi? If that's the case, I don't know how I feel about that. Because we need a striker, we need a centre-back. But again, we'd make it work somehow. There's got to be a way of making it work.
Would we? You know, we've got Fernandinho coming to the very, very final stage of his career. He's not really got it in centre-back form anymore in his last few games. Stones isn't with it at all. Otamendi looks to be on his way out, going back to Valencia. Garcia wants out. We've only really got Laporte that's a sure to say centre-back. Other than that, maybe that Adarabai or whatever his name is, but we don't know if he'll be playing. We're just... I don't know what it is. We're just lacking in that back line. I've never felt this way in a long... Well, I don't think I've ever felt this way going into the opening season, not knowing where we stand in terms of the team.
Just reading a couple of posts here. It's 50-50. People saying similar things. Yeah, Laney's mentioned centre-back wise. Nicholas Stark could be good, cheap. Failing that, go all in for Diaz, Upamecano. And it's we need a centre-back. Of course we do, mate. Ian Laney, hope you're doing well, mate. We need a centre-back.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say. I can't. It's one of those now where whatever we're going to do, we need to do it quickly, because we've not got long until the season starts. Was it next a week on Saturday? The season starts.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, we're going to know one way or the other. When does the transfer window end? Is it the end of September?
Oh, do you know? I don't know. They pushed it back, didn't they?
Yeah. Which gives me a bit more hope. But again, it's one of them.
Yeah, but again, there's no inkling. Ever since the Messi saga started, we've heard nothing from other players, which worries me.
Below the radar, answer, which tells me something's happening. There's got to be something happening there. 35 days left for the transfer window. Thanks, Bruce McLennan. Kev Sal, good fan of the show. How are we doing, Kev? If is Messi the leader we need? Is he the leader we need? Do you not think so? Do you not think he'll raise the spirits of the whole team?
Oh yeah, he'll raise the ability. You know, everyone growing up wants to be like Ronaldo or Messi. Everybody does, in terms of being a world-class attacking player. I just don't... Whenever I've seen, especially against Bayern, Barcelona were down and out. Messi was walking most of that game. I'm not saying he was completely to blame. It's a team game. But if he is a leader, like some people are saying he is, he would have been up people's asses, kicking them up their ass physically if they were playing that bad. But again, it's not just down to him. I just don't. Whenever I've seen Barcelona play bad, not sulky, but he just doesn't do much for me.
I don't It's funny, this, isn't it? So I'm just reading here about Koulibaly. Apparently, he's agreed to personal terms with City, according to French football paper. Which is, I don't know how much truth there is behind that. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I think City would be always in touch with the player just to make sure we can get something arranged and then work out the fee afterwards. It's funny, isn't it, the fee? It's the fee for Koulibaly is an interesting one. It's a lot of cash, and you're kind of asking yourself the question, because we've not got a good relationship, have we, with Napoli? Was it Jorginho who was coming to us and then went to Chelsea? I think we were a bit of a short one there by him. So, I can't see the relationship being fantastic with him. But is he the player we need? Again, I don't know enough about him to comment, but there's a lot of rumours about him. Who would it be? Him and Christ, what's that called? Laporte. I'm so tired. It'd be him and Laporte back as our 1 and 2 defenders, wouldn't
he? Yeah. Well, there's no one else. Again, that's my argument. There's no one else. Otamendi looks dead cert to go back to Valencia. Garcia on his way to Barcelona if it goes through, which I can't see it not going through. Stones, I don't think he says he wants to stay at City. I hope he does personally. I still think he can play a part. I still think he can pull his finger out and settle down the new season and push on. Whether he'll be as good as he had the potential to be is a different matter. But other than that, there isn't anyone, so it has to be. But again, Koulibaly's only ever really made his name at Napoli, and he's not really, he's a good play. He's a good centre back in Italy, but Italy is not exactly the league it was 10, 15 years ago, is it? So can you really comment on that?
He's not really pulled up many trees, has he? Let's face it, when he's in his time there. But he's got a price tag, and if City wants him, if Pep wants him, then surely it can only be a positive sign, can't it? It can only be positive for that.
I mean, it's a 50-50. Yeah, it's a 50-50 split, because we brought him under this transfer and City's transfer hierarchy. We brought in the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, like say Raheem Sterling, Ederson out the blue. Nobody really heard of Ederson, and he's turned out to be a boy wonder. But at the same time, I've also brought in players like Wilfred Bonny. Granted, he had a great season a couple of seasons at Swansea before signing. Mangala. The list it's a 50-50 list, but more good than bad. So I don't know. It just seems to be. Well, there's no words for it really. I don't know where. Personally, I don't like the price tag for it.
Yeah, you're not overly keen, are you? If you had a choice between Koulibaly and a centre back that we need, Koulibaly or Messi, which one do you have?
Koulibaly.
Just because we need the position.
Because it's that's solely based on it. If we had a centre-back position and a striker position sorted, and we only had Riyad Mahrez or Ferran Torres at the club, one of the two, then and only then would I sort of be interested in Messi coming in.
It's funny, isn't it? Because
it's not a position that we need filling right now.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? If you ask most people at the moment, will you have Messi or a world-class centre-back? I think I'd be inclined to say world-class centre-back, but then if you get an opportunity to have Messi play for you, imagine going to the stadium and seeing Messi play football in a blue shirt. Oh,
you could have Messi scoring goals, but if we're still leaking him at the back.
Oh, it'd be like Brazil in the old days. We'll score 10 if you score 9. We'll always outscore you. Our defence is shocking this year. So we need that. They need that defensive line. And I don't know about Ake yet. I know I'm really hoping he does well for us. I think he'd be a good signing, but it's hard, isn't it, to actually see what he's going to be like. We don't want this Mangala type situation again, do we? Where we spunk a load of money on something and it doesn't exactly work out. And the idea of doing that at 60-odd million for Koulibaly and him not performing is really painful for me. So our next defensive signing has to be really carefully thought out. Really carefully thought out by the powers that be. And I'm sure it will be. Ray Wilson's asked, is Koulibaly better?
Luckily, right.
Go on, sorry.
Go on, sorry.
No, it's
go on.
Ray Wilson's asked the question, is Koulibaly better than the other rumoured centre-backs? What other centre-backs are out in the market at the moment you'd go for, Dan? That we've been rumoured with? I don't think we've been rumoured, have we?
Obviously Diaz, I'd go for. We were rumoured with him once until he signed a new contract with Benfica. Nicholas Stark, that Laney keeps mentioning, he is a good shout. He's a very strong, agile centre back. I think he plays for Hertha Berlin now. Upamecano, how we pronounce his name, we were sort of interested in him. He's another one. That Canate, the same club. There are, luckily, this day and age in world football, centre-backs are very good and up and coming right now. There's a lot of very talented young centre-backs about. But we're only linked with a handful of them, and the ones we are going for are really old and expensive. Well, not old. 29 is not old for a centre-back, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course we do. We don't want to become that club, though, do we? If we do sign Messi, that imagine we'd have to win next year. There's no alternative. Yeah. If you sign Messi, it's a massive statement of intent saying everyone, right, we're going to win everything. And what worries me, Chelsea, their rebuild, they're looking really strong. Liverpool, as long as they don't lose any players, which I don't see why they will, they're going to be strong next year. So it's out of 3 teams next year for the league for me. I think Chelsea are going to be a real handful.
The good thing for me, though, going into next season is we know where we stand in terms of positioning. So if we do that transfer strategy right and get the positions filled we need, we'll be good. Liverpool, I think, will struggle, not in terms of the way we have this season. I think there'll still be title challenges, but they rely much on the 12th man in the stadium. And I think without their fans in the stadium, especially at Anfield, they'll struggle a little bit. I think they did in the closing stages of last season. They obviously dropped more points in the last few games of the season than they did all pre-COVID. But Chelsea, they're that 50-50 squad at the moment because you've got to think the signings Chelsea have made now, the pressure is really, really on Frank Lampard now. If he doesn't get this Chelsea team to perform well at all, he knows he's gone with the amount of money they've spent and the players they brought in. So the pressure is on him. So it will really show how good a manager he is. If he thrives under pressure, we're looking at one of the greatest managers ever to begin. If he doesn't, then he's gone.
I've got a good point there from Ger Brown. Hi, Ger. Hope you're doing well, pal. Just a thought on Messi. The expectation to win all around us could be detrimental. We win trophies with him. They got called bought trophies. And if we don't win with him, then this will be the team that goes down without winning anything with Messi and Pep. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can kind of see.
Exactly.
On another side of the coin, Johnny Brazier, very sensible this, Johnny. How does the best player in the world not fit in? Can't believe what I'm listening to. It's Messi, for fuck's sake. It's Messi. Johnny, you're spot on, mate. It's Messi. He'll make any team brilliant. Obviously Barcelona's not been great at the minute, but obviously they've got a bit more of a rebuild than what's
exactly.
So it's I can see it. It's Messi. You get the opportunity to sign Messi, you sign him. There's absolutely no question marks about that. Yeah, Dan Wayne, how you doing, Dan? I'm worried about Chelsea this season. Chelsea are going to be good then. They go either one way or the other, don't they? Chelsea this year, they're going to absolutely smash it. I think they'll start off really strong and hopefully put Peter away because obviously they've not got the team ethic built up. But Frank Lampard's building a really exciting team there, isn't he?
The good thing for all of us right now, though, is every team has got game after game after game this season. So no team's going to be on their best form this season. So I think it is going to be the scrappiest title chase ever this season.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. It's going to be good, though. I think it'll be a good watch. But just not good, the Premier League. Oh, I can't see anything but positives for it. Who are the other admins that aren't favourable for this? What's Chris's thoughts on it?
Dave. Chris doesn't want him. Dave doesn't want him.
Really? What about Tom? Yeah. Tom?
I think he is for Messi, but I think he's on the fence more than anything. The arguments I'd put towards him, he does agree with, but again, he comes back to the same argument. It's Messi.
It's Messi. Any argument anyone ever has against that, I'll just keep saying to them, it's Messi. It's the best player in the world. The experience.
You'll be here all night.
Commercial side. And we need to get all of us on here talking about this because you've not sold me whatsoever on your argument. Sorry, mate.
I just want to know Dan Halifax's view on it because I know he's the tiebreaker. He's not. He could potentially tie it, couldn't he? If he's for it, it's free for free.
Dan Halifax will be right up for Messi. He will. He goes to.
He's got his thinking cap on.
He goes to more games than any of us put together. Imagine he would absolutely love to go away game and see Messi absolutely ripping it up. It'd be amazing. What about left back position?
But he'd also recognise.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on left backs?
It depends on the way some players are going to play, because Cancelo right now, the last few games he's played at left back for us, he's fitting like it's gone out, fish in water basically. He's taken to that spot as if it's where he's played all along. It's like right back position was a Zinchenko position for him. It's not his natural position, but I still see Angelino maybe making a point. I do think, yes, he's very attacking and not very good defensively, but he's only 23. He's got donkey's years to learn. Mendy, I don't know where I stand on Mendy. He started to hit the ground running when he came back from injury, but just didn't really. I don't know Mendy. Zinchenko, I just wish he'd play midfield, see what he's like in this City team in midfield. But right now, I'd have Cancelo and Angelino and Mendy. In that order.
The worrying thing for me, and I take your point there. Now I'm thinking, how many points will Liverpool ahead of us this season? 18, 19? 18 points?
Like, yeah.
Right. Our defence has been frail. We need a centre back. Do we need another left back? Do you know what? We can probably get away with not. Could probably get away with not having one, because we've got Mendy, we've got Zinchenko.
Yeah.
And what about Jan Kulto? Is he a left back or is he a right back?
He's a right back.
Whoever he is. I'm sure he could play there as well. The thing for me is when I look at our signings, we've got Torres, Douglas Luiz, Ake. Anyone else?
Douglas Luiz.
Was it Douglas Luiz? Do we not look at the signings?
No, it's already.
So let's look at the signings we've made already. We've got Ake and Torres who've come into us, right? The thing for me with Ake and Torres, they don't, for me, represent catching up that 18 points. We need, if Liverpool go on and do the same next season, we need to bring our A games. We need central defensive signings, obviously, to make up that 18 points. Is Nathan Ake that point stopper? Is he going to help get those 18 points? I don't think he is.
I think he's just a bump stock for Stones and Otamendi.
Yeah. Any more rumours about them leaving?
As far as I'm aware, Otamendi has agreed personal terms with Valencia, but City are very close to agreeing a fee. It was a very small fee, obviously. I think it was anywhere between 4.7 and 7.8, if my memory serves me right. Okay. Somewhere like that. But for a 32-year-old centre-back who's hardly really played much this season, at his best, I'd take that.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad one, that, is it? Yeah, I'd take that.
No.
So I think we're going to find out one way or the other the next couple of weeks where we're going. It worries me because we do need that. I want Messi. There's no question about that. And I think anyone would be crazy not to turn their nose up against him. Even you, mate. But we need that.
You've known me long enough.
We need that central defence area sorted before we look at anything. For me, it's funny, isn't it, how we get round to this.
Ruben Dias.
Messi's just a side show. The Messi show. But we can have a podcast called that when he signs for us next week. But the real
no messing about.
Yeah, absolutely. The real elephant in the room is the central defensive piece. Yeah. When we look at what I saw, where did I save this? Give me 2 seconds. I saw the players. People say, yeah, this is right. Yeah. So basically, when people say City spent a lot on their defence, right? Pep inherited this defence. Demichelis, Sagna, Clichy, Zabaleta, who was 33. Kolarov, Mangala and Otamendi. Right? That's why they spend so much on defence. Because, let's face it, they're not exactly going to pull up any routes, are they? Zabo in his day, obviously. Kolarov, I really rated Kolarov. But again, he was 31 when Pep came for us. That's the reason we spent so much on our defence. It's because he needed to.
Yeah.
Absolutely desperately needed.
Well, yeah, quite right.
Can we win the Premier League?
I think we should go in.
Go on.
Go in for Ruben Diaz and Andrea Bellotti, and we'll be right back in it. Right back in it.
I've not heard any rumours about Diaz. It'd be great if you would. Imagine that bombshell just drops in.
I'll be doing my own live, and I'll be on for about 5 hours with a picture of a burning log fire there, typing on the keyboard. I'm excited. Don't see my face.
I'm again. Oh. Right, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We'll get on again in a couple of days and see what's going on. Try and get a bit more rumours going, and one way or the other. I'm still very pessimistic. I still don't think we'll actually sign him. I would love us to. Absolutely love to sign Messi.
No.
But I think the focus for the club needs to be defensive options at the minute. But if we have an option to sign Messi...
And a central striker.
And a central striker. Again, I keep hearing rumours about Jesus leaving. He's going nowhere. I hope. I like him. We'll see. Right, I'm going to over you and leave you, mate. Anything else to add before we go?
No, just obviously, as Laney would like us all to mention, first thing tomorrow morning, Lane will be jumping on live with his happy face. And of course,
he definitely needs to live it up a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always right to remember, so we've got to be very kind to Laney. But other than that, all the best wishes to David Silver and his family. Yeah, that's very good. Hope everyone has a good night.
Belted. Oh, hang on. Just in good timing. We'll give you my views tomorrow morning on the breakfast show. Yeah, you will, Laney. You know I'm right, pal. You know I'm right.
He agrees with me. He's sensible, you see. He's sensible.
Have a brilliant rest of your bank holiday Monday, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we will speak to you in a couple of days. Good night. See you later, pal. See you in a bit.
Night.
Bye.